Welcome back. When disasters threaten to strike, Emergency Management BC responds. Tonight we look at the roots of the organization dating back to the Second World War. Veronica Cooper explains.
First blackout on the Pacific coast.
This is one of two fascinating photo albums detailing the early days of civil defense in BC.
The focus of civil defense is civilian volunteers. And if people don't believe that there's a threat, then you're not going to get that buy-in.
But after the bombing of Pearl Harbour during World War II, Canada's west coast was sparked into action.
And people became more interested in volunteering and getting the training in rescue work and first aid, and also dealing with gas attacks, which was an early focus of civil defense. It was organized at the local level, particularly along the west coast where the threat was seen as the greatest.
The program ended with the end of the Second World War.
The funding was stopped and then it was shut down. It was felt it was not needed anymore.
But then came the threat of nuclear war in the early 50s, and civil defense was reactivated.
And an office, a civil defense coordinator, was created in BC. And then over time and into the 60s, it was looking more at peacetime emergency preparedness.
In the 70s, the Office of the Civil Defense Coordinator became the Provincial Emergency Program, now known as Emergency Preparedness BC.
Dealing more with natural disasters than any external human-created threat. But it does have, if you look at the elements of the training and the awareness and the literature, you can see the similarities with what was set up during the Second World War.
Elements that continue to this day.
This Week in History, brought to you by the Royal BC Museum, bringing British Columbia's stories together.